Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and it's a little bloody as you can see, but don't forget that we have some opportunities here to cost average in, and also you can find some really good buys in these dips. Bitcoin is clinging to the 47,000 range. It's off 5% as a total market in the last 24 hours. DeFi is holding on pretty strong, 14.95% of the total volume. The Bitcoin dominance, 43%. I don't think we're ever going to see those dominance days in the 70s and 80s anymore. I'm just so surprised because that was the norm, but it just is really having the competition with all the other altcoins. So what are the good buys today? Well, Terra Luna is a good buy. Zinfin, Solana, Hedera Graph, or Hedera Hashgraph, Zilliqa, XRP, VeChain, Algo, they're all ranging down 8 to 14%. So, it's not necessarily the perfect time right this moment to buy. This is the type of situation that you really want to watch the market and see where Bitcoin is going, because Bitcoin is the dominant factor in terms of setting the precedence for whether we are going up or we are going down. There is a couple that are breaking that mold, and I'm going to talk about that because one happens to be in the payment space, and that is Quant. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a major deadline for the SEC versus Ripple case. It's been extended. That makes a big deal. And John Deaton, the attorney, of course, he has a new YouTube channel. I want to tell you about his latest upload. And Ripple pre-IPO stock prices. Wow, they have been coming on big time from EquityZen. I want to talk about those prices. And I have a little bit of additional information about SHX. That is the new coin that I talked about in the video just prior to this one. That is something that Ripple invested into. It is also a payments platform that IBM has worked with in their WorldWire payments. And well, gosh, there's just so many things going on, especially there is a voting process going on with BitTrue right now. So anyway, I want to just add a little bit of information because everyone is asking a lot of questions. And so I thought I would just answer those questions here. And should you be worried about the airdrops? In other words, are you wary of what is happening? And what about those trust lines? Well, I also am going to talk about that. So just a reminder, Judge Netburn so ordered that a telephone conference will be scheduled for August 31st at noon Eastern Standard Time. The call-in details are to follow, and this is going to discuss the pending privilege dispute where the SEC claims all their communication is privileged, and they don't feel they are required at all to share anything. But this is one motion I want to talk about, and it is a motion coming from both parties. They have moved jointly for a brief extension. I don't know if you can call it brief, but I guess it's brief, for the fact discovery deadline to move on to November 12th. 2021. So due to an unexpected illness of an attorney for one of the parties who was an integral part of the Larson deposition, this shows good enough cause, they write in this letter. And yeah, even though we are in a battle, professionalism still prevails. And the person who fell ill is most likely never going to be made public. And so with this motion to strike the motion to intervene, which is John Deaton's case that's still pending, and we have this particular situation. Well, anyone who thinks this case is settling anytime soon should reconsider. And that comes from Jimmy James Filan. That is his opinion based on his experience as an attorney. And I just think that those inside sources, how are they working for you now? I just think those people who say they have those sources are going to blame it on the illness. But the fact of the matter is, nobody can predict or leak an end result. Come on. You know why? Because nobody really knows right now. And speaking of the motion to intervene, all right, this is attorney John Deaton. We got so many James, John, Jesse. It's going to keep him very busy, which is good, while he's waiting for the answer of whether or not he is able to intervene. This is his Crypto Law TV channel, and the latest upload is of Tony. That is Tony from Thinking Crypto, who I just love. It was a great interview because we learn a lot about Tony. Hands down, I think, loved by everyone in the space. I bet he's never blocked anybody on Twitter, and I bet he's never been blocked by anyone on Twitter. Very rare. All right, lots of Ripple pre-IPO pricing coming across my email, and it's coming in the form of an investment fund from EquityZen. It's coming almost daily in the last week. The prices have ranged $50, $49, $39, $40, $48, lots of different prices and express deals since the 19th. So these investments into these types of funds, just so you know, they're illiquid, which means they cannot easily be sold. And that's not me speaking. That is what every one of these platforms will tell you. And not only are they illiquid, they're very speculative because there's just so many things. Let me just tell you. First, you need to be qualified as an accredited investor. And if you're not, you can take a test. I'm going to talk about that test in a moment. There are usually pretty high minimums, sometimes 20,000. I think 10,000 is maybe one of the lowest that I have seen, at least on EquityZen. And they all link to, all of them have these fees that are packed in, sometimes as high as 5%. So I want to give you 4 facts, because these are facts that people who are promoting these sites don't often talk about. And this goes for all of them. They are specializing in what are called late stage opportunities. So most of these companies have already had rounds of funding. And really, the first thing you want to know is that the potential multiples that you can make at this point, are significant and good, but it's nowhere near the type of gains that you would be able to enjoy if you participate in the actual early fundraising. So there's a huge difference. If you're an accredited investor, it is really better to get into the early fundraisings that occur. Also, you have lockup periods. These lockup periods, sometimes 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. I've even seen 2 years. So when you have a pre-IPO share that is sold, for example, on Coinbase, they were selling those shares in these fund packages that were above the price that quickly followed after the IPO. So often there is a pop in the price, and then that stock price settles down and you can't sell because you're locked up. So that is something that is just a reality when you go into these kinds of pre-IPO fund sites. The other thing too is there's no guarantee the company will ever go public. That's not a guarantee at all. Not at all. In fact, if you saw the statistics of how many actually don't go public, it is higher than you would think. It's over 60%. The other point I want to bring up is that it is likely you're going to get diluted, because if it goes on for a period of time and they haven't gone public, it is really common to see another round of funding. Each time a round of funding comes through, you get diluted, and that dilution can come anywhere from 20 to 35% per round. So people say, oh, well, that doesn't matter. The valuation of the company always goes up. Not always. Sometimes it goes sideways and sometimes it goes down. It really depends on the market. I mean, there's just so many moving parts. So let's talk about that test for FINRA. FINRA has an exam where you can pass as an accredited investor. There's actually 3 different tests that you can take, but one that is often the one that's taken is a Series 65. It takes about 180 minutes to do. There's 94 out of 130 questions that you must get right, and the pass rate, according to FINRA, is 88% for those of you who study. And I found the least expensive site where you can actually buy the textbook and get a practice test is the Securities Securities Institution of America. Yeah, they had the least amount of requirement for their package, which was $124. You can get a bare bones basic prep test too, just the software for it is I don't know, $59, and then you can buy also just the software, which is a study guide. So it's yeah, you will have to invest a little bit of money in order to get yourself prepared to pass the test, but a 88% pass rate, I think, is pretty good. So I often talk about crypto, right, and payments. And why do I usually talk about the crypto that is involved in payments and or finance? Well, because it is such a really, really good solution to real problems in the space. And Quant is one of those that provide the overledger for that interoperability with lots of different blockchains. And it's moving today. It's moving really up while the market is moving down. So that's why I want to call attention to it, because when you look at the other examples of like XDC is in trade finance, it's being drugged down. XLM is down. XRP is down. SHX is up and down and up and down and up and down, really volatile, because right now the volume is very thin and it can easily be influenced. So what you want to do is you want to pay attention to those that are making moves up while the market is going down, and Quant is one of those. And the reason why I think, I'm not sure, but I think that as a service for software, they partnered with the company SIA, SIA. It's a payment systems. They were selected by Canada back in 2019 to actually replace the payment system. It's a project called Links. And with the SIA partnership with Quant, which happened officially announced in June 2020, we see from the payments.ca here a graphic which is very important, because payments.ca is responsible for settlement, the infrastructure of settlement for the country. And they published right here that Links goes live. Here's 2021. If you look at the division of space, it looks like sometime in Q3, right? Or the beginning of Q4. So we're getting very, very close. And that's why I put the hashtag soon. I think this is going to be something you want to pay attention to if you are interested in Quant. All right, this is the question that I got a lot, because I talked about the new SHX by Stronghold, just this last video before this one. And the thing I want to tell you is that, yes, you can get it on Stellarport. You can also buy it on Stellar Term. This is in addition to a major exchange, BitTrue, that may also list it. They are having a voting period like now. It starts within the next like 10-20 minutes. They are offering a chance to pledge your BTR to stake rewards for these 7 days, part of a voting system where they're going to distribute 2 million SHX tokens out of a pool. And you'll be able to do this easily from your phone app, for example. And yeah, I think if you are a BTR holder and you want to see Bitrue list SHX, then definitely participate in this vote and get some of those rewards. All right, are the airdrops safe? Boy, oh, I want to just tell you one thing. On the tokenomics of that coin, SHX, you can go to Stellar Expert and you can see total supply, all the trust lines. I would pay attention to these trust lines. How many people are they adding to their ecosystem? It's right now, it's very, very good, and it's been good. But this is kind of one I would look at. And you can see the liquidity is still an area they need to improve on. And that's why you see these huge, wild swings. And I mean wild swings. So just know that that is what happens when you get into projects that are a little bit low on volume. And yeah, that's have a really micro cap. All right, this is talking about airdrops. So the amount of tokens issued on the XRP ledger is increasing. Anyone can issue or use a token on the decentralized ledger. There's no central party. There's nobody who's going to say yes or no to what is being done. So it's nice to know that EquityZen started a KYC, Know Your Customer procedures, where he will add the logo on the Sum app, verifying who is behind the project. And as you can see, it has been verified who is behind the ELS token airdrop. Now, don't be afraid. There is no risk in setting up a trust line. The asset itself, if you're going to trade it, yeah, of course, that gets into risk. But if you're just setting up a trade line, there's no risk. And getting the airdrop is no risk. So, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, free money. And then you can sit back and watch and evaluate. You don't have to jump in trading the token right away. You can, but again, if you are one of those who doesn't want to have to deal with reporting your income, but I think that's a wrong decision. But, you know, yes, if you do get an airdrop and it is received something of high value, then yeah, it's part of your reporting process. So some people are just like, no thanks, I don't want anything to do with it. But, you know, report some tax and pay of something that you receive, or not receive anything at all and not pay. I don't know. To me, it seems pretty simple. I'd rather pay a little bit if I'm going to receive something. Yeah, that's just, I guess, where I'm at on that. So the ELS, that is the company that is Aesthetis. And Aesthetis is the fine art and blockchain project. They just published their white paper, and the co-founder, Lucia Bertolani, he did upload a photograph of himself, and he is behind the airdrop, and he is quoted as saying that he really believes in the XRP ledger's future. So I think we're going to have just an enormous amount of airdrops. The reason why is because this is a huge community. It's an active community. It is an audience that communicates so well with each other. It has a very, very tight-knit crypto community. And so I think projects who are looking for an audience are just salivating at getting their projects in front of the XRP community. And this XRP community is going to grow, 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 grow. We're soon going to call ourselves the, you know, I can just see it, the XRP, Quant, XDC, XLM, SHX, you know, all the other, because I think that it's gone beyond just XRP now in terms of what people have in their portfolio. I think, like myself, there are those who just really gravitate to the projects that are solving a real problem. And like I said in the beginning of this video, crypto, and when it comes to solving payment issues, whether it's trade finance, whether it's on the wholesale side, whether it's on the um, consumer side, or if it's even a B2B to C, it's really a beautiful, beautiful solution. So I think, yeah, that I think this community is going to get more and more savvy, not only into the traditional legacy payments, but also into DeFi, of course, right? Of course. So I think we're really lucky to have had XRP for a lot of us as being the project that got our feet wet to really understand this space in a way that many people who are in crypto don't have that well-roundedness. Wow, I'm getting off track, aren't I? I'm sorry. So if you are wanting to set up a trust line, I can tell you that for me, I use the Some Community website. Now, if you're a Nano Ledger or a Decent Wallet user, you can use the toolkit, the XRPL toolkit. But I'm not a Nano Ledger. I'm a Cobo Vault user. And so I can't use well, I could, but I don't use the XRP toolkit. I use a community website here, which is the Some Community website. And just make sure you have that app downloaded onto your phone. Make sure you've got at least 5 XRP in there for every trust line. It is something that is tied up, but it comes back to you. And then you just click on this right here, and you'll get a QR code, and then you get your phone, and you take a picture of it with your phone using the app, and it signs in. I'm going to sign out of there, cancel that. It signs in, and then you slide over an arrow to approve, and then it asks you to put in your passcode, and voila, you're in there, and you can choose to add any of them that you like. It's that simple, that simple. So, okay, let's just ask the question that everybody always leaves me in the comments. When flare? I've got the answer for you. Ready? We're going to click here on the flare button. Here we go. Soon. Yeah, it's soon, everybody. Don't worry. We're going to get it as soon as the testing on the Songbird, right? Yes, on the Songbird platform is complete. And then when that is complete, the mainnet will go live, and the FLOR tokens will be airdropped. So it's coming. Just have patience. Boy, this space is a real test for patience. All right, if you have patience for a little fluff, we're moving into the fluff. This was a survey that's done every year. This 2021 results, and it is where people are looking for their fashion. And the reason why this caught my attention is because I've been listening to Alex Cobb, which is great. He's in South Korea. It's his first trip to Asia, and he did his first day of walking after spending 14 days in quarantine. And he got so many blisters on his feet. And of course, everyone's giving him lots of advice because his legs were cramping up. So we're telling him to drink lots of water, and people are recommending that he gets some new shoes. He's so funny because he doesn't want to change his fashion with a pair of sneakers, because he says, that's just, he didn't say it, but he said that he wants to wear his Vans. And I think, yeah, that's okay. Everyone has a fashion sense about them. Well, most people do, and everybody's fashion statement is different, and he's comfortable with how he looks in his Vans, and he doesn't want to change his fashion. But what I found in this result was so interesting because of the people who live in Japan, the young people, both boys and girls, they look to South Korea for their fashion influence. That is kind of what they are looking at. They think that the South Koreans are doing it very well. So both young boys and young girls. And when I mean young, I mean teenagers and in their 20s. And when you get a little bit older, the men in Japan look to America, and the women in Japan, according to this survey, look to France. So there you have the results. There is one person in Japan, in Tokyo, and actually she's all over Japan, so it's not just Tokyo, but she is Misamaru. I've talked about her one time before because she's a fashion icon for kimono. Believe it or not, what she's wearing here is a kimono top that she has altered and has turned into her own fashion. But check this out. This is also a kimono where she has put her own fashion statement onto it. I love it. It feels like a I don't know, something she should just immediately go into some flamenco dance. I love it. And then this is where she really outdid herself. Just in the last couple of weeks, she has created a whole line of Pokemon kimono inspired accessories, and this is called a happy coat, and this is of course the obi and the dama, which is the traditional woven to keep the belt in place. It's really important fashion. In the Edo period, a lot of this was sometimes Venetian glass, but also too, I mean, that was after some of the Venetian glass could be traded, but also too, there was just these beautiful pieces of ivory that was carved out and called netsuke, and it's just this little tiny fine detail right here is so important when it comes to making the kimono fashion. Anyway, so this is a version, and this is another Pokemon version. How amazing is that? I don't know about you, but I just love the creative, wild, incredibly out of the box design when you think about traditional kimono with adding lace to the sleeves, bringing the hem up, putting this on the bottom. Look at her shoes. I mean, I'm just thinking everything is too cool here. I'll show you one last one, which I don't even need to say. It's just so great. I love it. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.